Hey guys, Voice of the Voiceless here, and just got back from spring break, week and a half, and went to Europe for a school band trip, and just in time to watch my team Wisconsin lose in the Final Four, but more importantly, just in time to watch WrestleMania 30 live on the WWE Network. And I will tell you, the network was beautiful. There was a small audio problem but that was only during the pre-show, and it was just perfect. It was like I was watching it on pay-per-view, but it was cheap. It was almost it's a steal. I just can't believe that there was no problems without through anything throughout the whole show. It was perfect audio, perfect picture, perfect everything. So was the event, which has had much to talk about. I'm gonna say this early, but WrestleMania 30 will go down as one of the greatest WrestleManias, in my opinion, of all time. You can put it wherever you want to put it. I'm gonna put it in my top 4 or 5, and maybe we get back. Maybe you can get into that a little bit more, but I'm not. I'm just gonna review this WrestleMania, as I think even though there's a lot of YouTubers who are expressing their opinions about WrestleMania, I'm gonna express mine and. Hope you guys actually think about my opinion. Actually, comment or whatever you want to do, because I love hearing all the other opinions. I've been watching pretty much YouTube videos as much as I can today just to hear about people's opinions about the event, because it was an amazing event. So we're gonna start out with the pre-show. It was a 2-hour pre-show. If you could watch the first hour on YouTube or whatever the WWE.com, but the second hour was exclusive to the network. I watched both hours. The first hour I was just getting everything ready because I had all my friends come over about 30 minutes before WrestleMania started, so I was just getting everything ready, getting the party ready, and just a lot of interviews. The second hour was on exclusively on the WWE Network, and this had the tag team title match between the champions, the Usos, the Real Americans, Ryback and Los Matadores, and it was announced last second that it was now an elimination match, which was good because it gave the guys more time, more spots, and a more entertaining match, in my opinion, because they cannot. I feel like they couldn't just do this in 6 minutes. They needed that time, so the elimination helped. So we start out. Matadors are doing a lot of stuff, and I don't know which one's which, but one was just going all over the ropes, and it was pretty good. And they did this huge spot where it was like an electric chair, like the El Torito got involved with it. It was like this electric chair off like the rope into the floor, and it landed on everyone, which was it was a really cool spot. But they were actually the first team eliminated very quickly. I think it was 5 minutes into the match. But next, so we had Ryback, Real Americans, and the Usos left, and Ryback in this period really impressed me. There was a lot of moments where Ryback slowed the pace down, which was a little boring, but but once after that, he really impressed me. The team Ryback really impressed me. They showed a lot of spots, and what happened, which I'll get into, but they really, to me, they established themselves as legitimate contenders for the tag team titles. So big props to Ryback, but they were the second team eliminated, I believe. Cesaro gave Ryback the neutralizer. So that's that. Then we get at this. That was the Real Americans versus the Usos, which the Usos have been getting beat on the whole time. Like, the Usos weren't really in the match until had to face the Real Americans, and it was great. Just great team. I was pulling for the Real Americans, and I really thought they were gonna do it, but the Usos did. They did a double top rope splash on, I believe, Cesaro, and they picked up the victory. And what happened afterwards was the best, as Swagger and Cesaro got into a fight. Swagger put on the ankle lock, and then Cesaro gave him the old swing, and I think they are done now. There would be no reason absolutely for them to be ever teaming together again. So Cesaro established himself as a big fan favorite face, and we'll see what happens to Swagger, but Cesaro, my boy. So we get into WrestleMania, good opening package like always, and the opening segment, much like WrestleMania 27, out comes Hulk Hogan, the host of WrestleMania. He's talking about how great WrestleMania is, how much he's happy to be back, and out comes none other than Stone Cold Steve Austin, making his first appearance on wrestling television since WrestleMania 27, or around that time a couple years ago. But it was, I did not expect Stone Cold to be there. I was just shocked out of my mind to see him and Hogan in the ring at the same time. Stone Cold said he was gonna put a can of whoop ass on Hogan, and got the crowd all riled up. And out came none other than The Rock, and it was just one of the most amazing segments. I'm not a fan of a segment opening up a pay-per-view, much less WrestleMania, but this was just incredible. You had this huge Mount Rushmore, and there was just 3 people, and I was expecting one more person, like maybe Cena or maybe even Ultimate Warrior, but that is totally fine. I was perfectly happy with Hogan, Stone Cold, and The Rock. Rocks did a couple funny things, just talking it up, and they celebrated with a good old beer bash. It was great, awesome, classic segment moments. Will go down in WrestleMania ages, so great segment. But when we got our opening match, which maybe it shocked some, since all the matches on this card were big, maybe the Battle Royal, the 6-man tag could have opened, but the opening match was Triple H versus Daniel Bryan, which makes sense as one of these guys have to get into the main event. Great story leading up to this match. Triple H just laying it down on Bryan, Bryan being the big underdog. I knew Triple H wasn't going to win by himself. I thought either a DQ would happen where both men would be in the main event, or Daniel Bryan was going to win, which happened. Everything, it was very, people were expecting maybe a Triple H-like match, but it was very technical. Triple H pulled out a lot of new moves that I'd never seen him do. And Bryan worked really well with them. I hope these guys have a lot more matches together. Because I think this is their only match so far, and it was great. I would call it the greatest opening match in WrestleMania history. Like, I think it was better than Brett versus Owen from WrestleMania 10, which is my personal favorite. And I think it was. I ranked it an 8.5 out of 10. It was just a great opening match, just amazing. And the right thing happened, Daniel Bryan winning. So what happened afterwards is Triple H just attacked him after the match and beat on his shoulder. So we get that little Daniel Bryan becoming more of an underdog. Next, we get into the Shield versus the Shield, is the 3-man tangent, versus the New Age Outlaws and Kane. It seemed very rushed. Even getting out, the Shield came out. They were wearing these awesome bandana things. I would be cool to get one of those. It was just really awesome, and plus they came from really deep out in the crowd. So excuse my light, and it was really awesome. But the Outlaws and Kane's entrance seemed really rushed. Basically, it was a squash. The Shield just squashed the team. I don't even know what happened. It was under 3 minutes long, and I think Kane got taken out really early, and then they just triple teamed on pretty much on the Outlaws the whole time, or Billy Gunn. I think he was picked the most, but very short, fast paced. But even though it was really short, under 3 minutes, and fast paced, it had great spots. It was a great quick match to sort of cool off the crowd from Daniel Bryan winning. It had Roman Reigns did a double spear, which was really cool. I heard Billy Gunn got internal bleeding or something, was sent to the hospital, but I'm not sure if those rumors are true. And then the ending was they put 2 guys on Reigns' shoulder and they did a triple powerbomb with the New Age Outlaws on both of his shoulders, which was a really cool spot. Really cool way to end the match. I would give it a 6 out of 10 only because of the length. But other than that, it saved all the spots they did, saved it, and how fast paced it was. Next, we get into is the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Oh, I had the Shield winning that match prior, so far I'm 2-0. But next we had the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Excuse me, and my favorite was the Big Show, just because it would make perfect sense, give him his moment, and he's the Giant, so he was originally billed as Andre the Giant's son, so it's just cool, the whole circle, but he didn't win, and a lot of good spots in this match. A lot of people impressed me, including Dolph Ziggler, which my friend had winning the match, because he's a huge Ziggler fan, been a Ziggler fan since day one. Ziggler impressed me. Alberto Del Rio really impressed me. He was eliminating a lot of people. He was staying alive. Really impressive. Kofi Kingston, of course. He had that spot where he was running towards a guy. I forgot who it was, and he flipped over the turnbuckle and pole, like just totally cleared it. And I think he was supposed to land on his feet on the steel steps, but he didn't stick the landing, but he improvised and said even though his back was on the ground, he improvised and said his feet were never on the ground as they were still on the stairs. So he was not eliminated, which was really cool. A lot like the stuff he does in the Royal Rumble. I think maybe you could say like what was your favorite one. I honestly like the chair one the most, but Kingston I think that was just pure improvisation, just of how his landing didn't stick, and it just say that his feet happened to be on the stairs, and he's like, oh, my feet weren't on the ground. So Sheamus impressed me. There was a cool spot with Sheamus where Fandango was celebrating on the apron, and I knew something was going to happen, like he was going to get kicked or something, but Sheamus came up and started clubbing him on the chest, and he did probably he did like 30 or 40 of it all to his chest as hard as he can, and which was really cool. People were just freaking out of how much time he just kept on going and going, and then he just gave him like a little shove and pushed him right off, which is a good spot. Big Show obviously impressive. Just keep staying in there. Especially, I think if Big Show were eliminated, I think people would have Mysterio, actually, but Mysterio got eliminated pretty early. And then the last person, which I didn't even notice he was in until halfway through. I'm like, hey, Antonio Cesaro is in the match. And I thought, okay, that's weird. And he ended up winning the Battle Royal. He was one of the last few people. And the beginning was a clusterfuck, but the last 10 minutes with the last 10 or 15 guys, last like 7 or 5 minutes with the last 10 or 15 guys it was incredible. It's what made it my favorite battle royal of all time, my most favorite battle royal of all time. And Cesaro seemed like he could not get Big Show. He was uppercutting him, and Big Show just couldn't have it. He body slammed like Hulk Hogan, picked up Big Show in the body slam position like Hulk Hogan did Andre the Giant, and he dumped him over the top rope and won the big trophy and won the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, which is funny because it took 5 referees to carry the trophy out, because the trophy is huge. It was bigger than Rey Mysterio. It weighs like 100 pounds. But Cesaro lifted it up by himself, which is incredible, just how strong this guy is. And Cesaro is going to be a main event guy come a couple months. I could see him facing Daniel Bryan possibly for the world title. So, we go into the next match, and I give that Battle Royal a 7.5 out of 10. So, the next is Bray Wyatt versus John Cena. This match, people were talking about how this match was going to happen back in like November and December. They said it was going to be a disgrace. It was going to be absolutely terrible. This match did not disappoint at all. It had the entrance. Bray Wyatt came out with his this voodoo thing, and it was like a live. It was his theme song was being played live, which is incredible. It was one of my favorite entrances, and Triple H's earlier was awesome too, but which I forgot to mention. But the story leading up to this was just incredible. I had Bray Wyatt winning this match. I thought they were gonna let him win it, get that momentum and that big push, which he in all honesty, Cena didn't need the victory, but Bray Wyatt didn't need the victory, as I think the guy is over. He can make anyone believe that the guy is a complete heel, creep, whatever you want. The guy is just incredible. His wrestling, like, I was skeptical on his wrestling ability when he first debuted, but the guy can go. The same at times as he was carrying Cena, and some other spots was Cena was going for the 5-knuckle shuffle. Wyatt just popped up and did the spider walk thing, which was awesome, which was just plain awesome. It just creeped the heck out of Cena. Cena acknowledged he was scared, and the interference in this match was incredible. Was good. It was well timed, well done by Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, and Cena did back off the interference, and just everything worked in this match. The wrestling, the psychology, the mind games, everything just worked. And you guys can argue if Cena should have won or Bray Wyatt should have won. I honestly thought Bray Wyatt should have won, but honestly, it doesn't matter. Cena did win. He gave him the FU, or the attitude adjustment, as the kids call it these days, and won the match. And a lot of people were disappointed, but maybe I a little bit, but that's just because I like Bray Wyatt. I really do. So, John Cena, with that, I give this match an 8 out of 10. Just great match. And next, this is just huge. This is the streak match, Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar. I was in Green Bay when this feud started on the night the network debuted. When Brock Lesnar came out, wanted the world title but couldn't get it, so he had to do the open challenge, and out came Undertaker. And I was sort of skeptical of this match, only because Undertaker's age, and if you realistically look at it, Lesnar would destroy Undertaker. Much less he would destroy anyone, but he would really destroy Undertaker just because Undertaker's an older, shriveled guy, and Lesnar's a big, bulky, mixed martial arts, UFC. Like, the guy can do everything, Brock Lesnar. So, I was skeptical on that a lot. I knew this match wasn't going to be as good. Like, I wanted to see Taker versus Cena. That was the big thing I wanted to see, and I was just disappointed that didn't happen. But I knew this match was going to be good only because the streak will continue with Undertaker, and just to see Brock Lesnar try to do it. This match, surprisingly, was not... didn't have a stipulation. It was just a single match. It wasn't... I was surprised that they did add, like, a no DQ stipulation, but it was a single match, which I think sort of took away from the match, as I think more no DQ would have added a lot. And I feel like this is the most forgotten match prior to it starting on the card. Like, the Wyatt Cena match was huge just because the storyline. Same thing with the Bryan Triple H match and the Battle Royal, but no one was really talking about Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar, and partly because everyone knew Undertaker was going to win. So this match starts out, it is really slow. I was sort of surprised. I thought it was just going to be a full-out slugfest brawl, but Lesnar had complete control. It was really slow. I'll admit, I was not paying attention a lot throughout the match. I was getting up and getting food a lot. I was talking to my friends, and it seemed a little bit boring, which I was a little disappointed in, but there was one good spot. It reminded me a lot about when Lesnar faced Triple H at SummerSlam 2012. That's what it reminded me of. So it was sort of weird like that. But the cool spot was when Undertaker was going for an old school, and I like, okay, Lesnar's gonna counter it. He's just gonna do like a hip toss or an arm drag off. He actually caught him in an F5. Excuse me. He actually caught him in an F5, and then hit him with the F5 from the old school, which was really cool. I really liked that spot. Taker did take control, which sped up the match, just because he has all those the high tempo moves that the crowd gets nuts. He hit Lesnar. Lesnar hit him with two F5s prior, but then Taker hit him with the tombstone, which I knew Lesnar was going to kick out. But after he hit him with that second F5, which was from the old school, I was thinking, like, if Undertaker or if Lesnar hits Taker with the third F5, we can realistically see Lesnar actually pinning the Undertaker. I know it's gonna not gonna happen, but we can realistically Undertaker's in trouble. So what happened was he was going for the second tombstone. Lesnar flipped around and he put him in the F5 position, hit him with the F5. I'm like, oh god, this is going to be pretty intense. And especially because when Taker kicks out, which I know he will be unstoppable. Like no one can beat him at WrestleMania. Well, I saw it, and what I've been doing since I've been watching wrestling since I was 10 years old, since 2005. My first WrestleMania I got on pay-per-view was in 2006, WrestleMania 22, which is still one of my favorites. What I do a lot is, like, when I know they're going to kick out, but it's going to be really close, I go 1, 2, and then I look away like that, or, like, I flinch down and I don't see it. So I did that. I went 1, 2, and I looked down, and all of a sudden, it was completely quiet, and I heard the bell ring. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Like, and I thought it was a false, like, I thought something happened because Paul Heyman came into the ring and he was freaking out, like he was freaking out like Taker kicked out of the third F5, but he was freaking out because Lesnar beat him. I felt everything. My heart stopped because I was shaking, which is wrestling fan, but because I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I gave Lesnar no chance in hell that he was going to. No one gave him that. I knew for 100% that Undertaker was going to beat Brock Lesnar. I knew it for a fact. And if you really thought Brock Lesnar, if you were to tell me Brock Lesnar was going to beat Undertaker without sarcasm or anything like that, then you're lying to me. You would be lying to me because there's no one who believed Taker was going to win. Heyman was just freaking out. No music was playing. That's what was another weird thing. There was no music. It was just complete silent. People's faces. There was people like freaking out. It seemed like someone died. I heard another YouTuber said that, but that's what it seemed like. It seemed like somebody died right in the middle of the ring, and people were like, they didn't know how to react to it. It was just insane. Like, I thought Taker would have 2 more matches in him at WrestleMania, and I thought maybe he would lose to Cena at WrestleMania 32, but I knew the streak was not going to die, but it really did. It was insane. There was no music. There was a bell. I thought there wasn't a bell, but there was a bell. It was just insane. If people think Taker got screwed or Lesnar did something, then you're absolutely wrong. It was planned. Taker wanted this to end. He's 49 years old. He's hurting and hurting. He doesn't want to keep on wrestling, and he wants to help someone out. And Lesnar was the guy. This was planned. He wanted Lesnar to beat him at WrestleMania. So when I fell asleep, I woke up and I actually had to look back up that Lesnar won because I thought it was a dream. Like, it's so unbelievable. Like, a guy who's been 21-0, who's been undefeated for WrestleMania longer than I've been alive, and now he's 21-1. He has 1 loss. He's no longer undefeated at WrestleMania. It's just like it's gone. It's insane. But anyone who's saying like this wasn't supposed to happen, it was. So I've accepted it. I don't think it was a bad thing. I'll get into that, and some of the bad I'm gonna get into right now. Actually, some of the bad things, I guess, what people would think about Lesnar winning is it was Brock Lesnar, a guy who doesn't wrestle full time. A lot of people complain about that. Another bad thing, obviously, there's no more streak. It's done. There's nothing to look forward to at every WrestleMania. It's done, and maybe Undertaker's retired. He's not going to wrestle another match. Because what's the point? He's 49 years old. He's won the world title 8 times. Like, there's no point to do it. The last thing was, the last 2 things, the match wasn't that good. for a guy like The Undertaker, a 5-star match would have been perfect for a way to for him to go, like against Shawn Michaels or Triple H. But it was not. It was a very slow match, and I think most of that can be blamed on Undertaker himself, just because of his age and his injuries. I would not blame Lesnar as much, even though Lesnar's been in a lot of great matches. Look at CM Punk, but I think most of that's due to Undertaker just because of his age and his injuries. And last but not least, I think this moment alone is going to be forever synonymous with WrestleMania 30. Obviously, Daniel Bryan did win the World Championship, but this WrestleMania will not be known as the WrestleMania that Daniel Bryan won the WWE World's Heavyweight Championship. It will forever be known as the WrestleMania that Undertaker lost, that Brock Lesnar beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania. So, it's just huge. Some good things though is Undertaker did want it. He wanted Brock Lesnar to beat him. So, and of his injuries, he needs to get out of there. He needs to just get done with wrestling. It's starting to hurt him, and obviously, it's a new era. It's the Daniel Bryan era. It's new. You could feel the change watching it. So that's all I gotta. That's my reaction to Undertaker losing. I feel like it was a good thing. Overall, it was a good thing that he did lose. Even though I'd rather have it be against someone like Cena, just because he's been there. He wrestles full time. He's the guy. He's WWE's guy. He's the guy who probably deserves the most to beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania. But it was Lesnar, and I've accepted that, and I'm happy for Undertaker and his career, and thank him for the great 25-30 year career he's had. And we'll see what happens tonight on Raw. But we are not done with this video, as we have one more match. There was the Divas match, but I'm not going to care. AJ Lee did retain. Not good at all. People were quiet. People were just so shocked at what happened. But the triple threat match was Randy Orton, Batista, and Daniel Bryan, which this match was the best match of the night, which rightfully so, as it's the main event at WrestleMania 30. Just complete, just excellent. Batista did his part well. Randy Orton did his part incredible. And Daniel Bryan was just absolutely... just everything about that match was great. I give the Undertaker-Lesnar match a 7 out of 10. But, if I didn't say that before, but I give this triple threat match a 9 out of 10. It's just, even the interference that Triple H came in was just rightfully planned, rightfully executed, just everything. There was this spot where Batista powerbombed Bryan through a table, the announce table, and, Orton jumped up and hit him with a backwards RKO type neckbreaker, and it looked really painful for Bryan. But if you watch what happened to Orton, his back landed right on a television monitor and just destroyed his back. I think something really it was a botch for sure. It was just his back just got wrecked. But just an amazing match. I'm calling it the second greatest triple threat match I've ever seen. Ever in wrestling. The only one that's better was the Chris Benoit, Shawn Michaels, Triple H from WrestleMania 20. Honestly, that's the only one that was better than this triple threat. It was just incredible. Again, Batista did great for his part. Just a lot. Orton, of course, and Daniel Bryan for sure. And there was a spot where I thought Batista was gonna win. He Batista bombed Bryan right in the middle of the ring without Orton anywhere in sight. And I thought he was going to get it that. I'm like, oh my goodness. But it was just incredible. Daniel Bryan made Batista tap out, which is good. I actually, honestly, I would rather have him make Orton tap out just because he was the champion. And sort of the guy who started the whole, feud. But him making Batista tap out was good. Very symbolic to, Chris Benoit making Triple H tap out 10 years ago at the Garden when he won the World Heavyweight Championship. But overall, great match, great WrestleMania. I don't know where I would rank it, but I would definitely rank it in my top 5. And I hope people do not hate this WrestleMania only because Brock Lesnar beat The Undertaker. I hope they love this WrestleMania for all the great matches. There wasn't a bad match on this card. And for, obviously, Daniel Bryan finally winning the gold, which I hope for a long, prosperous title reign. I want to hear what you guys think. Comment below of your thoughts on Undertaker losing at WrestleMania, your thoughts of Daniel Bryan, and what did you guys think? What was bigger to you at this WrestleMania? Undertaker losing at WrestleMania or Daniel Bryan winning the World Championship? Tell me guys what you think, and I got a couple videos coming up. I'm going to do some reviews of when I did the network game. Do a couple of reviews. Hopefully they'll be coming later this week. But we're going to be watching Raw tonight. Tell me if you after Raw, comment on what you thought on Raw too. It's a highly anticipated Raw, so I can't wait. But just I hope you guys enjoyed my video. Thanks for going through all the way, and peace.